Welcome to another beautiful edition of our Think Better, Do Good Better series. Kato Mukasa, handling another session under our critical thinking episodes. Today we are going to be talking about happiness and how it can shape your work ethics and how it can help your business, how it can help your family life. Happiness is what everyone wants in life, but it loads almost everyone. In my book, Think for Yourself and Do Good Better, I have a rule. One of the theories I'm advancing is that many people are sad with money, being sad with money. Now, it is very possible for someone to have lots of money but still remain sad. Why? Because many people are yet to define what happiness means to them. Many workers do jobs they don't want. Many people stay in relationships they hate. They stay in environments they hate. And some people hate themselves because happiness is not yet defined by them. Happiness is defined by everyone else apart from themselves. So today I'm going to talk about 12 points, rules, principles, issues that should take your time, give a thought, and consider them when you're talking about happiness in your life. And they are going to guide you on how to define your own happiness and be able to give your best at your place, be able to be the best manager in your business, and be able to be the best family person wherever you are, because we have defined what happiness is. Now, one thing I have noted about happiness is that many people don't define it and follow into what we call the bandwagon fallacy. The bandwagon fallacy, one of those fallacies where people tend to identify something because everyone identifies with it. When people are religious in a certain community, men are going to be like that because it's the trend. Now, when everyone is building a house, everyone is buying a car, everyone is buying a new phone on the market, almost everyone is going to be measuring their own happiness and success depending on what everyone else is doing. Now, if you're going to be happy, you're going to avoid the group thing. You're going to start thinking in terms of your own personality. Avoid the group thing. In my book, I give an example of the tale of two grandpas, my two grandfathers. One was very luxurious and outgoing. Another still had money, but very minimalistic. They are both happy. My paternal grandfather wanted materialism, had a big car, a big house, and all that. Yet my maternal grandfather wanted a very simple life. Had lots of land, coffee plantations, and all that, but rode a bicycle to work. Now, everyone defined happiness their own way, but they are all contented because happiness is defined by you, not by any other person. Now, the second issue we look at is that happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy even when you don't have much. Now, the rule here is that the size of their problem is not the issue, but what matters is your size in the problem. Your size is your focus. Now, when you focus on your problem and you don't focus on the solution, you're going to be sad, even when you have money, because you have not defined what is the purpose that you yearn for. What is it that you wake up for to do each day? Now, it's very important that we get these things out clearly. You have to pay attention. The third principle I'm pointing out, you have to pay attention to details. If you are going to be happy at work, happy at home, you are going to start living in the moment. Live in the present moment. Many people are dragged back by the past because your father died, You keep on screaming about the loss of your father 10 years on. Because you divorced, you end up always in misery because you are divorced, because you lost a child, because the business went bad, because you are sacked. We keep on bringing the history that does not help our present. Now you are at work X, but you are remembering how it were in work Y, which you left. Now, to move on means you must live within the present moment. And now it defines your state of mind, because happiness starts in your subconsciousness. Once you leave your mind free of thoughts that are negative, you don't give them a rent-free space, you're going to live a very contented and happy life. Now, you must train your brain to have that happiness in it. You must keep a positive mental attitude that drives your brain to live in the present, to see things and appreciate them, to have gratitude to life. That even if you don't have a pair of shoes you want, at least you have your feet intact. At least you're still breathing, you are still alive. At least you still have an ambition to move out your bed for. There are things you must be happy for. That even if you are in the hardest situation, at least there's something that keeps you moving. That's why people may not have so much in terms of their focus, but they are happy. And may have almost everything, but they are sad, because happiness starts with your attitude. Now, the other thing I want to emphasize when we look at happiness, we look at happiness as an advantage. We call it utilize the happiness advantage. Now, research shows that people who are happy live a very healthy life. That's why people may not have so much in terms of their focus, but they are happy. And may have almost everything, but they are sad, because happiness starts with your attitude. Now, the other thing I want to emphasize when we look at happiness, we look at happiness as an advantage. We call it utilize the happiness advantage. Now, research shows that people who are happy live a very healthy life. They mind their bodies, they exercise regularly, they mind what they eat, they mind what they drink, they mind how they think, they mind the company they have, the friends they keep, because all those make an aggregate of what makes you sad or what makes you happy. So you have to mind all that. In fact, when you look at the countries, the list of countries that have the highest people, these countries are in the Scandinavian area. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Iceland. These are countries with the most happy people. Why? A country like Finland has some of the most happy people in the world. Why? You look at how these people perceive life. How, for example, they live a life that is less dogmatic. They don't put all these dogmas that weigh you down. They don't have so much worry. They can be happy with the little they have. Yet you see countries like the US, where people are so sad. On average, when you compare with someone who is in Denmark and Netherlands. Now, these are issues you look at, that what does it define a happy worker? Now, do not always be that mean person if you want to be happy. A happy person is that person who wants to always be giving than always be receiving. Be more of a giver and less of a receiver. Give love, give happiness, give gratitude. Share the little you have. It will make you very happy in life than always putting your hand out to beg, to beg, to beg. The person who gives more love, more gratitude, more affection, more compassion is more happier many times than a person who's receiving. Now, happiness, another issue I want to point out, is contagious, just like a coronavirus, just like a flu. When you are happy and enter a room as a worker, as a manager, and everyone sees you being with a smile, people are going to be smiling. People are going to be approaching you. You're going to be discussing business. The other day I went to buy a tripod for the studio I'm using right here. I mean, the receptionist, the marketer was very lovely lady from Poland. And she was lovely, she was very engaging. I know you would love her, you would love to do business with her because she's contagious, she's smiling, she's willing to show everything in the storeroom. So when you are happy, you create happiness around you. A father who is happy has children who are happy running towards him when a father enters a house. A father who is sad stresses the entire family, stresses the entire company where they work. 2, happiness is seen through the quality of your work performance. A happy mind leads to a better work performance. In Europe, the few companies I've worked with, the NGO where I work right now, gives so many breaks to its workers. Workers leave their working desks and go smoke, go take tea, go walk around. But meanwhile, they are still working. In Japan, workers are even allowed to sleep for 30 minutes. In some companies, there are beds in the office because they are trying to create happiness. A stressed employee will not work. In Europe, where I am in the United Kingdom right now, a pregnant mother is given time to even go and check on a baby. So it's important to create happiness for your workforce if you are going to get results out of your people. Now, 3 last things for this episode. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. It's a journey. You haven't arrived. You keep on moving. It's something you work towards achieving every day. You set your mind to a goal and work towards it. You radiate it from within. You have to be grateful with what you have. You have to know that happiness does not happen by an accident. You create it. One important aspect you have to consider. Happiness is created, does not happen by an accident. You do deliberate steps. It's intentional to create happiness in your home, in your room, at your workplace. It's intentional. Finally, happiness should be given to others without expecting returns. When you keep conditions to be happy, if I do this for you, you must do this for me, that's when I will be happy. You will never be happy. When you expect so much from people. I normally tell people that lower your expectations. That's the trick. You have your servants, you have your workers, you have your maids, you have your staff. Please lower your expectations so that they simply surprise you. When they surprise you, you'll be happy. When disappointed, you'll be so gloomy, you'll be so sad. Now, when you're dealing with people, lower your expectations so that you can be happy working with people. Now, do not expect a return. When you do good to people, let them simply surprise you. Pay it forward is one other principle you're looking at. Pay it forward. Now, in my life, people have done good things for me. I cannot even mention them. All over the world. Now, the best thing I can do to thank them, apart from saying thank you, I do the same good things or even other better things to other people I can also afford to reach to. I look out for marginalized people in my country, back in Africa, and I support them. When I find someone on the streets of London or wherever I travel, and I have a coin of say £1, I can give it to that person. I pay it forward. If there's something I can do for free, I go and do volunteer. I go and do it. I go and support the Rainbow campaign. Have done good things for me. I cannot even mention them. All over the world. Now, the best thing I can do to thank them, apart from saying thank you, I do the same good things or even other better things to other people I can also afford to reach to. I look out for marginalized people in my country, back in Africa, and I support them. When I find someone on the streets of London or wherever I travel, and I have a coin of say £1, I can give it to that person. I pay it forward. If there's something I can do for free, I go and do volunteer. I go and do it. I go and support the Renewable campaign. The other time I was in Newcastle supporting the Renewable campaign. I celebrate with the LGBT community because it pays to pay it forward, to show gratitude, empathy, be happy with others. Pay it forward. Happiness also means taking full responsibility of your own mistakes. If you are a manager, a CEO, a team leader, a family member, accept that you go wrong. You cannot be right every time. I've worked with bosses who think they're perfect. You can't be perfect. You can demand for perfection, but just know you cannot be perfect. If you want to be happy, know that you are going to make mistakes, but be honest to come and say, I made mistakes, let us move forward. Finally, happiness calls for self-control and discipline. And it calls for the avoidance of short-term pleasures. The moment you want quick fixes, you will never be happy. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. It's a process. It's a consciously taken steps within your mind to be happy. Remember, as we said in the beginning, you can be sad with money. It's a theory in my book. Think for yourself and do good better. Now I encourage you to continue subscribing to this channel and be able to see and watch more of these series. I wish you the best at your workplace and at home. Be well.